trying to figure out what is the most logical, count or pathway forming. And up until about yesterday or this morning, that count didn't really show itself. Yoga, can you adjust your sound, please? My sound is adjusted, so let me know if you have any other issues. Okay. All right. Before we keep going, I just want to make sure my sound's okay. Check, check. Is my sound okay? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? If it helps, I could even pause the music. Let me know. If I don't get anything in 3 seconds, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to assume that everything's good. Because on my side, it says that it's picking up my audio pretty well. So just let me know. But until then, let's continue on. All right, so the pattern, let's just jump back out real quick. The general idea is that we're forming some sort of, C wave in a diagonal, not a diagonal, but in a 5-wave pattern. And it was just trying to figure out, cool, we're good, we're Gucci. That means all right, let's keep it going. And it's just trying to figure out, what the most logical wave count to that piece of price action was going to be. And it was pretty difficult, just like I assumed it was going to be. After what is it? Since essentially, basically a 2-month long, almost a 2-month long. Actually, I lied. It was actually 1 full month. Well, a 1 full month long uptrend. And so I knew the top side was going to be very compressed and stuff like that, but I really thought it would give us more signs of exactly what was going to be showing. But like I said, up until now, it didn't really show itself to what's going to happen. And now that price has moved a little bit, what is the final count? In my opinion, this entire structure here is your diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This looks like a diagonal. It does. It fits the confines of the diagonal. You have converging lines. You have 4 within 2. And not necessarily all 3s, but ends there, impulse there, ends there, impulse there. And then a quick overshoot, and then right back into the boundary real quick. So this has all the characteristics of a diagonal. And so, to me, I think the top is in for this particular pattern. And for those who are in my group, I had stop sells all in this range, so I am definitely sitting happy. It was not here, it was like right here or something like that. But I'm definitely sitting happy, and I'm up. My orders literally missed. Let me just take a screenshot. This is fucking super sorry about this, but my orders missed by less. My actual orders to short the top missed by so close. But hey, it is what it is. And that's why I had to stop sell, because I knew. Well, I didn't know, but I was fairly certain that my idea was going to be true once we found a top. So that's why I had to stop sell, and that's why I was telling all my members all throughout this entire week, stop sell, stop sell, stop sell, stop sell, because of this particular aspect and idea. Because we assumed that the top was very close to being in, and we're just in the final subwave of this entire impulsive structure from the lows of in December. And since then, one of the key things that has happened since this since this structure has, in my opinion, found a conclusion, was the fact that from the high, the move that broke to the low broke this entire range in less time and complexity. Therefore, based on these rules and aspects, we could assume that this is a reversal, or has a high probability of being a reversal, and therefore we want to throw out some rules so we could understand what price is doing and not get caught blindsided. And so what I like to use is the GB retrace of the breaker move. This is the breaker. If you're not studying value range theory, you're not going to understand any of the lingo I'm about to talk about. And if you don't understand the lingo, please please go read about it in the section. It's highly, highly important that you understand value range theory, because then if you don't, you will never understand reversals, and you will never understand when divergence could be true or false. Like yesterday, on this 4-hour time frame, I said we have this hidden bullish divergence from here to here. Boom, boom, 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 1, 2. X is the pivot that has the most price action sought upon, and this is where it was. And I said if we had 2 to 3 H4 closes above that X pivot, we had a high probability of showing that this divergence we see here as true. What happened? Here's an X pivot. 1, 2, 3 closes above, breaks up. That simple. So the same aspect is going to be applied here. Same aspect. Literally the same thing. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. X is always within the divergence leg, which in this case is this move here. So you find X by looking for the zone that has the most price action sought upon, or traded upon, and to me it's either going to be there or here, which is already marked. So both these zones have a good chance of being X. I would say, for me, this is good enough, and I wouldn't really care about this one, so I'm going to say this is X pivot. And so as long as this price stays stays under X pivot and stays under the GB of the breaker move, which is this move, we have a high probability reversal here. Here's X pivot. I'm going to label X pivot a different color so we're not getting confused between the GB and the X pivot. X pivot is going to be white for now. The GB is going to be gold as always. And you notice how usually for some reason, the GB and the X pivot are almost always in line with each other, which is kind of funny. By the way, I got my little cousin here, tuning in. He's a little curious about what I was doing, so I told him he could tune in with us. He's in the background here, trying to make sense of what I'm talking about, because that sounds crazy, huh? Right? Isn't that right? Sound a little crazy. So, anyways, what I need to see happen, because like I said, this move here has happened in less time and complexity. Therefore, I could already assume that no matter what, if this is going to be a true reversal, we will stay underneath this zone. 100%. We will form a flat of some sort. A flat. We won't form a triangle. It will be a flat. It will be a flat. That, as long as we form this underneath that, it has a high probability of doing this, which I think is very, very likely, in my opinion, right? So I'm going to set my stop for my stop sells right here. Stop sell entered there. My stop loss is going to be that high. Call me a pleb, but it's just based on Elliott wave. One can assume a stop here at 9,065, but I'm also watching for a different pattern to elude itself on a higher time frame, so I would be more keen to just being careful about that. The other count that I'm looking at to form is in my opinion, kind of unlikely, but we have to be responsible in regards to trading and look at ways we could be wrong or invalidated. And so one way is that this will end up being a flat of itself, which, at this point, as long as this forms a 3, I will still short that in anticipation of this doing this, and then I'll close my entire position there in anticipation of doing that. Do I think that's going to happen? No. My primary is going to be this. My primary price action from the lows is going to be this. We're going to go in a 3, and then a 3, and then your 5. have 3% of my entire portfolio, but my loss aspect is only going to be 3% of my entire portfolio. You should only risk more than 3%. Um, what you risk is not how much you put on a trade, but how much you could lose on a trade. Some people don't understand that aspect, so please don't get that confused. There is a possibility that we could do this too. You know, boom, 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 which is completely fine. Will be very keen to see what happens at this pivot here. I'm very, very curious to see what happens right here. See the reaction there. If it's very impulsive, in like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I have no choice but to assume either an A, B, C for a bigger A, B, C, or a start of a new uptrend to the upside, which I do not think is going to happen. I think that this entire structure is now complete, and we're going to be correcting it for some time. And during all this chop, alts are going to start flying and shit. Like on this little jump here, and the alts will start flying, and especially here. So another thing I want to point out that's very, in our direction and in our favor, is the fact that this trend line here is now broken. That is pretty huge to me. And not only that, we broke it while breaking this entire range in less time and complexity. And I know I've said that a few times, but that one thing, I'm telling you, has made me so much money. So many obvious plays just by using that one tactic. You're breaking in less time and complexity. And therefore, you should really, really study that. So I was trying to clean up my chart so I don't have to freaking do this stuff later. As for the count here, I believe that this was an entire correction here. That literally barely works, but it works. Perfectly works. Diagonal and fifth. Super salty. I missed that diagonal here. I kind of, man. Oh well, live and learn. Noted. All right, let's move on to ETH. Because there's really no change to my idea at all. It's actually more true than last time we talked. So, again, the price action I assume is going to happen. Boop, 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 boop. We will hold that low. Moon it. Having scam pump in this area right here. But it won't go to new highs like everybody thinks going to be. Everybody thinks that the halving is going to result in new highs in crypto. I'm short, motherfucker. Sorry. I keep forgetting my cousin's in here and he's young and I can't be doing that. So let's move on to. If you're not, I wouldn't necessarily short this area because I would assume we do this. And that's where you want to short. Alright? Alright. I think I'm going to set my bids here. Set a stop loss at like 9.1k. And see what happens. Like I said, if we end up moving up very impulsively, I'll be one to say this is the top, which I believe is the top of this entire structure. I just cannot find. I literally cannot find another type of structure that takes us higher. Tell me, this is 5 waves. This broke that low. This now is a. There's no way. There's just no way I could find a logical way to tell me that it just breaks higher at this point. And so, this is the minimum requirement for this entire structure to be corrected by. Therefore, we can assume that this top will be the top up until. It don't even say. I don't know when this is, but I guess like November. I don't know. I don't know when the hell it is. All right, let's move on. So I mean, this kind of worked perfectly. I assumed that this was going to be our last move up, and it was. So thankfully that worked. Um, ETH looks a little stronger than Bitcoin, to be honest with you. It didn't really clear the pivots that Bitcoin did. Although we did clear a major pivot, we really didn't clear this pivot like we wanted to. So ETH is still on high alert for like a possible move to the upside. That is, this looks like a form of flat to then move up. But it'll be very hard for me to see where how that fits into this. It's very hard. So because of that, I'm just gonna go with what I assume Bitcoin's gonna do, and I'm gonna base the rules on Bitcoin on Ethereum. And so as long as we trade underneath the 618 of this current measured move down, which is approximately 173.38, one can assume that Ethereum also has found a local top and could assume a downtrend up until that zone is met, and that zone for Ethereum is going to be a little bit different than Bitcoin. It's going to be February, near the end of February for Ethereum is when to find a logical low. A, B, C. Not John and Scale. I think it's going to get higher than that. Just probably going to do this stupid thing. Probably gets people really scared, thinking about it's about to break out again. Scamwick down, then more bullshit. Yeah. It's actually the same thing for Bitcoin. I think, again, across the board, cryptocurrency has found a local low. And we're going to hold this for at least the first quarter of the year. We'll see, though. We'll see. The reason why I believe that is because I think this has elapsed the logical time aspect for X wave, and therefore we have to assume more complexity, therefore a B wave. That's kind of crazy. So here's the max amount of time for X wave, and here's the time the top we actually hit. Can you allow for that? Very close, man. I think I'm just going to keep with my bias and be aware of that aspect and see what happens. So with that, let's get on to then, okay. So ooh, some good movement in alts. Yeah, there's just no way. Look how high that. Look at this volume, man. I'm with this. Let's get to Litecoin USD. See what happens with Litecoin. Woo! Man, that was beautiful. Deviated from our top by less than $1. 1/3 range of a 1-to-1 of A, which brings us to here. Therefore, we could assume a downtrend till the end of December, tail end of February. Same rules as all of the coins that we're discussing today. As long as we stay within the 618, we're bearish. Consolidating above the 618 is bullish. It's simple as that. East BTC. It did move up like we assumed. A, B, C. I'm still thinking this. And if we get this on East BTC, it'll make East USD extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. Alright? Same rules here. Breaking over this is bullish, and I assume upside to upper parallel, which is here. But I would like to see this. One more test to the low, break that low, get all this liquidity, and send it to the outside. One, two, three, four, five. A, B, C, somewhere in there. Find another thing like that, and then another balance in that. But lend is interesting me on the higher time frame, because in my opinion it flipped an extreme pivot here. 0, 1, 2, X broke X, and now it's consolidating above it. We have to assume upside. As long as we're above X, which is here. What else did we look at? There's one other coin we looked at. Sorry. Crypto Tony was hitting me with a message real quick, so I shoot him back real quick. Alright, so let me just pop up the other coin that we discuss here. I'll discuss that. Alright, Joe Crypto. Sorry, I'm just looking at XTZ. Why is it? Why does it? Yeah. Oops, excuse me. Just like I thought. I don't know. Well, that buyback kind of big, so this can't end up doing this. In which I'll still do this. When it comes to trading an Elliott wave, don't overcomplicate it. Simple first, complex later. Find the most simplest, most logical count, and then you go with your more complex count if you can't find anything logical in your simplest counts. XRP. XRP is starting to move a little bit in the direction that I didn't want to see it. But I'm still with this, break that low one more time, then send it. Alright, now we can discuss Forex, and then I'll jump back to a few questions that were asked in my Discord. One being, why did I place my stop sign where I put it, and how I got that idea, and where was my invalidation point? And then two, Crypto Tony's asking about my high time frame count, and I'll just go over it a little bit, a bit more in detail, just to show you why I believe what we believe, and so forth. Okay. So this was wrong, sadly. Oh wait. Is this where the scamming? Where's that scam? Wasn't there a scam wick here somewhere? There it is. See it? No real channel goal. It's just trying to figure out, is this scam wick true or not? If this scam wick's true, then this is probably A, B, C, and this is 1, 2, and this is about to be 3. Or is that scam wick part of the correction, like A, B, C, and this comes down? I'm more with this one just because my higher time frame count is bearish. How we're consolidating above the range though is kind of bullish. Just be mindful. Don't go all in on this. Short here and then add the rest on a break of this level at 1512, in my opinion. If you move above 1588 and start consolidating above it on the 1 or 4 hour candles on the gold, I'm one to say that this idea is wrong. It will probably move up impulsively, being that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 here. The dollar did start moving up like we assumed. No change on the dollar. Breaking below 97.16 will make me believe that this is complete and this is going to go down. And this is probably just like a simple ABC, and we're going to see and come down. Okay. Euro USD. So far following our path, no change. Interested in buying euro and closing shorts in euro near 1.09991. No change. Notice how the 4 hour here is rolling over on SRSI and most likely on trend date as well. Let's just pop out. Yep, trend date is rolling bearishly here. So you see when this happens, bearishly roll over here, bearishly roll over here. It tends to be a pretty good movement. And so far we have gotten that good movement. And so congratulations, you've gotten that trade. Just hold yourself, lower your stop to your entry or slightly profit, and just let it ride and close down here. USD NOK. Same thing. We assumed that we would break this boundary to the upside, but still stay within the confines of our entire idea being bearish. So no change in USD NOK. We've been short up here. I'm not adding to this position. I'm just going to let this one ride to see where it ends up. this range and look to short the top. NZD USD. It did start moving down from the high point we established. This looks like it's probable that it's going to do this now. We got pretty nasty hidden bullish divergence from here. Oh shit. There to there. There to there. So I can assume that this could have the high probability of directing to the upside, and therefore it would complete this idea we have here. And this is going to end up being a sell signal once it reaches that point down to the downside. I assume that this entire structure is one giant impulse that has just completed and needs some time to correct. CNY, USD, which is, I'm still with this idea. This is a very high time frame count and a high time frame chart, so it will take some time to develop. You just gotta be patient, set yourself up, and just watch how watch it day by day. I'm not in this trade yet, but I'm very, very interested in shorting CNY USD. Okay. The first area of interest will be the 618 if it corresponds with any impulsive moves to the downside. All right. Ooh, look at it. This is actually hitting a 1-to-1, which is a really good shorting opportunity. It's a 1-to-1. Hits a breaker pivot right here. Here's your breaker pivot. And I'll probably hit like a 0.5 retrace. Watch. Actually a 0.618. Look at that shit. Wow. So not only is it hitting the golden box, but it's right at a 1-to-1 of the current, this A to B to C. Oh, I like this. I like this short setup. I like it. We're taking it. We're taking it, everybody. We are taking this. This is another swing trade brought to you by Satoshi Heavy. Let's take it. We got this one. The reason for me liking this, we're hitting a 618 of this measure move down. This is in this case B, which is also corresponding with a 1-to-1 of this measure move A to B to C, which also corresponds with the time aspects of A to C within the system confines we need. Therefore, as long as we can find a logical top before this box is ended, we can assume that this is has a chance of downside. If we continue doing this after this box, then I have no choice but to assume this is a local low, and it's going to end up taking this entire A, B, C exact. Okay? But in my opinion, this looks like a correction inside a correction, and so I could see this happening here. Okay? I wish we had volume on this, but we don't. It's the only unfortunate thing. I really wish to know how much volume is coming in right now. That would help me put a better idea around this. And I think with that, we have covered all the pairs we cover now. Euro USD, USD no, NZD USD, CNY USD, XAU USD, DXY, XRP, BTC, Litecoin USD, XTZ USD, Len USD, XRP, we didn't really go over that much, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Covered everything. All right. Now to talk about the high time frame counts a little bit more in depth because I had some people ask me questions. Okay. assume three things. Three things. One, start of a new impulse. Two, start of a B wave. Or three, start of an X wave. Those are the only three things that could happen after an ABC or any three-way pattern. Those are the only three things that could happen. Only three things. Right? From that low here, do we make a five-way impulsive rise to the upside? Yes. Was that low protected? No, it was broken here. Therefore, an impulse from that low cannot be logical. Therefore, we can only assume the other two aspects, or other two things, which are a B wave or an X wave. If it's to be an X wave, it has to meet an X wave characteristics. One being three-wave pattern or a triangle. Two being of short and snappy. It's usually short and snappy. And I have this X wave algo I use that works like fucking bread and butter. It's right here. Notice how we hit a high. We hit a logical high. So when I say logical, meaning it could be the conclusion of a particular pattern being inserting. So we hit a logical high after the max amount of time for X wave algo for my type of analysis. If this high here would have been the high, I would have accepted this as being X wave. But since we, kind of went against, we started moving up after that point, I'm more with the idea that this is A, B, C, and not X, start of a new impulse and moves to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because initially, my very first idea, my very, 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 very first idea was this was going to be W, X, Y, and Y was going to do this. Make a flat in here, like this. That was my first idea. But since we maxed out X and didn't make a logical high before that, I have to assume, I have to play by the rules. I have to play by the rules. So I'm going to assume that it's going to be a longer, more drawn out corrective phase being a bigger A is A. All this is going to be B, and then C's later come for capitulation. And another reason why I believe that, I want to leave that actually. Another reason why I believe this is because due to the fact that the halving is right here. This box is halving. So what has traditionally happened every single time halving has happened? We get a initial rise up. Coming into halving, we have a downtrend. As halving happening or just kicks off, we start a new uptrend. This is essentially the same thing as happening. Leading up to halving, we're in a downtrend, and then actual halving with that scam pump. Traditionally, the halving has alluded to new highs in cryptocurrency. This time, this will not. This will be a dead cat bounce. There already is a dead cat bounce. Wow. Wow. Woo! This will not get over this, though. The stuff I'm throwing at you is based on a lot of factual data that's derived from the charts that we're studying here, as well as almost like a factual opinion based on halving and its tradition and its history. If we are to clear, so let me just be very, very, very clear with y'all. From this point to this point, there's a lot of complexity that I assumed here, right? A lot of complexity. Therefore, if this move here could point to this point, this entire range in less time and complexity, I'm willing to say that this is X wave still. And this was, like I said, this was A or W, X, and this was A, B, and then C for Y. But if this is gonna be a B wave, I assume this won't happen right here, and we'll do more of this weird. But if we were to just do this and not find support right here, if we don't find support here and just shoot right down, then I'm gonna assume this is A, this is B, and this is C for W, X, and Y. Okay. Dang, we kind of went through this one fast today. I don't know if I'm getting better at discussing my ideas and giving my opinion out, or that I don't know. Today was a lot faster. It felt like. So with that, everyone, shoot me any last minute questions. Any last minute charts in Forex or cryptocurrency you want me to look at, and I'll be happy to look at them. Or if you want me to, give you an opinion on anything, let me know. Shoot me a question real quick, and I'll be happy to give you that real quick. Because I think as far as I am concerned, there is. Yeah. By the way, so someone just messaged me. I don't really think you're stop sell here or something like that. Well, motherfucker, you can suck a dick. You can suck a fat one, bro. Okay, so I guess I'll just discuss real quick before we get out of here. Why I have my stop sell at 8,900. I initially had it at 8,880 or something like that. Right here. Right below that low. But when price moved up last night in my sleep. What's up, Carmen? Hope you're doing well. I am bearish on cryptocurrency across the board. As long as Bitcoin stays consolidating underneath 8,960, I am bearish. Bonus points if we stay underneath 8,840. So I'll look at that right now, Lala. Just so you know, I'll post this in my Discord group. If you're in my Discord group, Carmen, I can't remember if you are. But the price action, I'm gonna assume is gonna happen. Something like that. Which will end up being this B wave here. And we have to have the minimum requirement for this correction ends here. So don't be rushing into any longs. Trust me, you don't want to be buying every dip. You only want to be buying the most logical dip, which will be closer to here. So just be patient. Wait till time is almost up and see where price is at by that time. If you're a swing trader or some shit. If you enter shorts up here or within this range up here, you could hold that for a swing. In my opinion, I'm going to try my absolute hardest to, but I know I'm not going to be able to. It's just who I am. To hold that as a swing, but I know I'm not going to be able to. What is your thoughts of all media coverage saying Bitcoin is going to rise to 10,000? Trevor Johnston, in regards to that question, whenever the news comes out extremely bearish or bullish, or expect some like this insane number, no, I cannot see at the end of the diagonal. I can see it has some sort of diagonal in regards to just the structure, but the the actual shape that formed. The thing that I don't like about it, and the reason why we can't say this. I think Elliott Wave International, who the fuck is in charge of the rules, is gonna be writing some new rules in regards to cryptocurrency over the next 3 years. Because I've said this countless times and time in and time out. Over my course of 2.5 years studying this market, I have seen time in and time out diagonals take shape as this exact shape, where 3 is longer than 1, but they all form in a converging aspects, where 4 is snappy, 2 is elongated, 4 comes into 1 territory, and it has converging lines. The only thing that isn't like the exact same is the fact that wave 3 still exceeds wave 1, which isn't your typical diagonal. But I think we can assume that this pattern happens enough in crypto that we have to watch for it. This could be in my opinion, this could be a 5-wave impulse there, with that being wave 5. Little divot there. So we could, in my opinion, we could assume this pattern as a logical pattern for the future. Three still longer than 1, but still has converging diagonals. Wave 4 and wave 2 hold sister wave compatibility within 40 within what the fuck within the confines of a diagonal. Therefore, I believe that this structure here can be assumed to be logical and forming on all time frames in cryptocurrency. Although Elliott Wave International, or who the fuck you want to call them, they do not look at that as an official structure. But I'm telling you right now, from my experience over the last 2.5 years in this market, I have seen enough time that I'm going to trade this structure every single time I see it, and therefore this is why we're short here, and that's why we're bearish here on the top, because of this idea, right? So that answers that any diagonal aspect. I don't believe it could be any necessarily like any diagonal in regards to the Elliott Wave book per se, but I do believe it is some sort of diagonal that Elliott Wave International, or whoever is in charge of the book, is at some point going to have to take very, very good look at to see if it is indeed a valid structure in cryptocurrency and Elliott Wave in general. In my opinion, like I said, it is, but since it's not written in the books, Carmen, I cannot say that this is indeed an end diagonal, because that would make it so I'm disregarding rules, but it is what it is. I do see this, though, as an end of a particular structure, and we can assume a downtrend from here up until the end of February at a minimum, okay? Now, hey, by the way, don't ever say sorry for asking me a question here. Especially if you ask a question and I answer it and I go over and I talk about it, because that means I wanted to talk about it and I wanted to answer the question. Don't ever say sorry for being in this. Don't ever say sorry for making me take longer than scheduled time. The time I schedule for is my discussion time. The talk that happens after, I don't care about. We can talk for as long as people are here talking. So Carmen, don't be sorry. Thank you. If anything, thank you. Thank you for the question. Okay, any more questions? Did you see this pump and dump? Yes, we did see this pump and dump. I mean, it's not really a pump and dump. I don't believe in pump and dumps. Everything is always in the charts. It's just on you to understand what it takes to pump or dump it. That's all it takes. That's all it is. You know? There's no such thing as a pump and dump. There is in real life and shit, but you could understand it within the charts. You can look at the charts and you can understand that, okay, this has a high probability of pumping, or this has a high probability of dumping. Last night in my group, I said if this X range pivot on the 4 hour chart was closed over on the 4 hour chart that we could assume upside. What happened? We closed above that X range pivot on the 4 hour chart with 2 to 3 H4 candles in a row, and on that very next candle, we ended up breaking that high, just like value range theory states it would. And so yes, we did see this pump, and we did see this dump, because my highest time frame degree idea was that we were bearish and wanted to short anything that was above $9,000. My actual short didn't get picked up, unfortunately, so my stop sells, it did the trick. I wish it would have picked up my top orders, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Any more questions? I'll still check out USD MXN. Cover that, Trevor. Trevor, whenever the news is not your friend, and they never will be your friend. The news will always be late. The news will always tell you something that you already could derive from the charts. Therefore, anything that comes from the news could be assumed as not correct in that time, in the actual time of it coming out. So yeah, they might be like, oh, it's Bitcoin has a high chance of hitting $10,000. Well, they're basing all their studying and all their facts on past data. Then they find the story, write the story, edit the story, then put it out to us. It's already too late. The news is not your friend. They're always late. They will never be your friend. It's very seldom that the news will give you a good trade. Most of the time, you want to be counteracting what the news is doing. Okay. So again, F the news. F anybody in the news that's saying certain things. Just don't listen to them. Read what's in the charts, understand the charts, and you're going to be far better off just believing and trusting the charts rather than letting some news agency play into your mind. The only data other than the charts that matters is fundamental data. So like, what freaking how much debt is in a company, how much gross income, net income, who they're letting borrow money, where the bonds and stocks and that stuff are. You know, that's the only data and only other form of studying that you want to take into account in regards to your trading and investment strategy. I am not a fundamental analyst at all. 0%. I do not know. I know a fair, I know the gist and general basics of fundamentals. I can look at a spreadsheet based on a company and understand, okay, this it's probably not good, but I cannot give you like forecasting type of analysis that some other gurus in fundamentals could do, such as David Bell. Shout out to David Bell. If you don't know who David Bell is, I highly recommend following. I did look at GPT USD. I think. Again, if you don't know who David Bell is, I highly recommend following him, giving a shout out, telling him that Soci Heavy told you to follow him. But David Bell is literally the only guy I trust when it comes to macroeconomics and fundamental analysis in regards to any market. So, also known as the macrodesiac _ very smart guy, very, very, very smart guy. I highly recommend you give him a follow. Tell him that your boy Soci Heavy said follow him. You will not be disappointed. His services that I'm discussing are paid, but they're so cheap that if you care about making money and care about this and you're taking it seriously, you're not going to care to spend $25 a month. Yes. The famous quote I like is, the technicals of today are the headlines of tomorrow. That's my favorite line. All right, so you. Cool. Yeah, Trevor, don't just trust. seriously just don't. Every now and then, if you just have like a question about your bias, peep the news, and if they're with your bias, you might want to reevaluate your bias. But don't go to news looking for answers ever. Just go to the news to confirm or disconfirm a particular bias. That's it. Okay. Don't go to news in search of answers because they're not going to give you answers. The answers you need are always going to be in the charts or in the fundamental data, not from the news or someone else's opinion. It's always going to be held within the data, not someone else's opinion. Okay, I'm gonna look at USD MXN and then GPD USD, and then we'll get out to here. Oh, this is where our GPD was. That's why we didn't look at it today. That is wow. What? Look at this. The news will only confirm a. The only news that matters in forex is like news based on fundamentals. So like, for instance, like it's expected that the U.S. Uh, job sector is gonna decrease. That's bearish on USD DXY, right? But then all of a sudden the news comes out. Oh, it's we actually the job sector actually grew. We actually added jobs to the job sector. Well, that news is bullish. That's legitimately bullish news because it's based on fundamental factual data, right? And that's the only time news is legit in forex. All other news just based on ideas of a chart are fucking false. The only news that you have to take into account on forex are fundamental based news. But I promise you, it'll always be shown in the charts. So like, for instance, like it'll that same scenario, the people online, analysts say, oh, it's projected that the U.S. job sector is going to lose jobs over the next quarter or next year. But in the charts, you're looking at the charts and you're like, well, DXY looks very strong. It looks really bullish. That makes what this news agency is saying about the job sector and the DXY being getting hurt due to this. This makes sense because the chart looks bullish, and then all of a sudden the actual news comes out. Oh, the projections actually grew. Well, the charts always was telling you that. No, nothing like that in crypto. This is no doubt about it a 5-wave impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since we didn't hit a minimum requirement for a wave here, okay. Oh yeah, we did. So this can be an actual top. Yeah, and elections and stuff like that, the actual places in effect. But like, dude, I'm telling you, like, don't go for it to uh, for an idea. Go to it to confirm a bias or confirm or disconfirm a bias. That's all you have. Yes, I looked at Len. Yes, all the Brexit shit was gold. That was great volatility. I love when news like that starts to coming about because that means a lot of money is gonna be being has a possibility of being made because usually it's very volatile. Dude, I don't care about Len on the lower time frames of shit. this trade doesn't if this doesn't come down to here, I don't give a fuck. You can run off without me. It didn't give me my setup, so I'm not gonna chase it. So for GPD, what I'm essentially looking for here was this understanding that this could be a giant flat here, or this could actually just be the ending of a giant flat. It's daily. I was in the daily. This is my daily count. No change. Well, I'm not scalping Lens, so all I'm discussing is high time frame counts of Lens, not the small time frame. But good luck on that. I don't scalp alts. That's just silly to me. They don't have enough liquidity. So for GPD USD, it's very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This initial move to the downside looks like it's very impulsive to the downside. Therefore, I'm going to assume that this, and this. If we hold the 618 of this move, I'm bullish. If we lose the 618, nice. Good stuff, Bren. Good for you. Good for you, bro. Good for you. Again, I don't scalp alts. No point for me to scalp an alt. So yeah, if we hold this low here, the 618, then I'm gonna assume that this is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. Which is logical because it brings us to the DCB extension here. So I'm assuming you like the new update, Noza, on the SRSI. I love it. I thought my mouse is about to die. Hold on, my mouse is about to die. My mouse. My mousey. Give me a second. I don't want my mouse to die. We're almost done here, everybody. So if you're like wondering, waiting if there's anything more in depth, it's gonna be yeah, I know dude, the new SRSI is ridiculous. If you, it's definitely my confirmation. And nope, mouse died. Great. Hold on, my mouse died. I saw it coming too. Okay. So yeah, essentially, this my idea for GPD USD. The thing I like about this, not being at the top, is that all this volume here. There's a lot of volume. A lot of volume here. You know? So I'm one to assume that after this small correction, and after a break of a 45-degree angle, I'm going to be wanting to long this thing. Alright, 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 alright. So, dang, Len has good. Dang, Len's moving, man. Wow. Great trade, Noza. Holy crap. Woo! 1, 2, for some reason, the 13 weighted moving average trendade. Again, trendades derived with it's accumulation of a few moving averages that are all put into one formula, and then it comes up with trendade. And then I add the weighted moving average to it. Anyways, um, usually when a 13 flips bullish, so does the SRSI start to flip bullish and hint towards that. And then as soon as SRSI breaks that slow line, that's your telltale sign that it's breaking to the upside. And usually, shortly after the SRSI breaks the slow line, it'll break that 55 on trendade, and that's confirmation 100% that your trade was good. That's just one strategy. This is what I use to help confirm an idea. Like for instance, for example, let's go to Bitcoin real quick. For example, and I usually use it on a 13-minute time frame, so I'm a little bit different, but like for example, if I assumed, like yesterday I assumed upside and I assumed a long, and so as long as we stayed above that and stayed above this, it's highly possible, highly likely. Look, we're above the 45, the slow line, had a bullish cross here, above the 55 here. All reason why and to believe that my idea to the upside was true. Not only that, but then the 4-hour value range theory also proved that upside was imminent, and yeah. For example, since I had a feeling that this was going to be like a downside move, I would assume that as soon as this rolled over, that would be confirmation, and you have that right there. And so I'll probably be one to closing. See, this is where I get in trouble because like my rules makes me want to close this trade as soon as this flips bullish, because this is now flip. Although this is in the negative zone, what this will make me do is take profit, and whenever this finds a logical high again, I'll enter again short, and I'll wait for the confirmation where the slow line, all this starts rolling back under the slow line, and that'll be confirmation that short was a good short. But that's essentially how I use this strategy, and this is why you can get me in trouble with my swings, because like this makes me want to take profit here, because I know or have a feeling that this is probably going to turn over for the meantime and then move up back into a zone where I could probably short again. But if it doesn't do that and it just fucking runs away, like if it just goes sideways and then runs away, then I lost my good entry. So this is where it can get you in trouble, like playing these low time frame trades like this. But it's very powerful, very very powerful. If you're in my group and you don't have these two indicators, again, this is trendade 2.0. All I have is a long, a short, the 55, the 13 is not on there all the time because I know that when this flips bullish, the 13 usually does, so I don't have to put it on there. I like looking at the D1 open every now and then. To me, the D1 open is the most important piece of closing or opening data there is, even more so than the high and low of the day. Trading if you're above it, you're most likely gonna go up. Below it, most likely gonna go down. It's just like that. Above it, up. Below it, down. Right here, above it, up. Below it, down. Above it, up. Below it, down. Above it, up. Below it, down. Above. Right here is below it, down. Right here is a reversal, but you just gotta understand. It obviously won't work at all time frames, but it is very important to have it on the screen just to check your bias in a sense. Like someone may, I'm going to long this to the upside to like new highs. Well, it probably won't happen because your daily open is right there. It's probably not going to do that. So another thing, another little tip here. I know there's a trader out there who said the complete opposite of what I'm about to tell you right here. They said that once the previous day's highs or lows, once price breaks it, you want to start looking for reversals. So what that means, like here, this high right here, this white bar right here, is the high of yesterday, which is right here. This particular trader states that once the price breaks above or below the high or low of the previous day, this aspect, here's the high of the previous day, you'll look for reversal like that. What complete fucking opposite. And what happens time and time again? Time and time again, what happens? Here's the high. Yeah, sure, quick reversal, but then it went right back up. Right here, look. Here's the high of yesterday. Above it, went upside. You wanted to short that? Go. Same here. High of yesterday. Wanted to short that? Fuck, go figure, right? Low of yesterday. Want along that? Yeah, go figure. Low of yesterday. Want along that? Go figure. Yeah, make sure when people give you stuff and like tips and tricks or whatever in trading, go test it. Because when I saw this, by the way, he's a great. This guy is honestly, he's awesome. He's a really good guy, and I do not knock him at all. It's just I don't believe what he put out. I just don't. I don't believe it. I do the exact opposite. So. Where is it? Look, this is it. This is literally it. I 100% disagree with this. Unless I'm deriving my highs and lows of the previous day somewhere else, he literally states the exact opposite of what I said. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe for him, but like I don't know, man. Going back on my chart, my data, looking back at what happens. Here's the previous day's lows. What happens when we broke it? Volatility happened to the downside. Previous day lows, volatility happened to the downside. Previous highs, volatility to the upside. Previous highs, volatility to the upside. Previous lows, volatility to the downside. Previous highs, volatility to the upside. Previous lows, volatility to the downside. 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 Volatility to the upside. Volatility to the upside. It's hard. I don't know, man. Again, just always go back and test it. Make sure it works. Again, the way I derive the open and close, I'm at the high and low of the previous day. It might be different. I know I add a few more tweaks in the formula here. I add a variable to these, not the open, but the high and low that the open doesn't have. So that might be the difference here. But again, just make sure you do your homework. Don't trust anything you see on the internet. Do your homework. Do your research. Make sure it actually works before you apply it and lose money. When I saw that, when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, am I doing everything completely wrong? And that's why I went back and studied my chart. And I'm like, oh no, he just seeing things differently, I guess. I don't know. All right, you guys. With that, we are 100% done. We have been now talking for about 2 hours. Oh, an hour and a half, which is good. We are actually doing better on schedule and on time. All right. Yeah. We're done. We are done. We are done. So with that, hit me with any last minute questions or concerns, things you want me to do better, things you want me to cover next time, ideas you want me to do for next air, next view, whatever. Let me know. I'll be happy to do whatever I can to add value to your time here watching me talk and ramble for 2 hours. So anything I can do to help improve the value and my stream, please let me know, and I'll be happy to do whatever I can to make it better. So with that, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Make sure if you did take anything from this insight, learn something, maybe partially, got a good trade off my previous idea, whatever, etc., etc. You can drop a comment right now in the chat box, but it won't show up in the actual actual chat comment section. Unfortunately, YouTube should change that. But thumb up my stream. I appreciate that. Whenever it's uploaded, you come back and just drop an emoji. Just a simple thumb up emoji. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. I'll be happy with that. So if you can do that and stuff like that, I'll start paying attention to those who like really support me, and I'll see what I could do as we grow and as I grow as a brand, as a trader. I'll see what I can do for all the people who have been supporting me from day one. I appreciate y'all so much. So with that, everybody have a great day, rest of the day. Today we got some good football playing. I got the Chiefs taking a loss to the big old man, aka Derrick Henry. He's gonna make those Chiefs eat the L. I never seen a man run like that before. And then I'm gonna take the 49ers over the Green Bay Packers. All right. So everybody be safe today. Have a great day. And for this week, you can catch me again Tuesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we'll get another dose of crypto right for you. But until then, everybody have a blessed day, blessed rest of the week, and I'll catch you then. It's been your boy, Toshi Motherfucking Heavy. Peace